Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week. Another sort of quiet week. We're going through a bit of a transition stage at the moment. A lot of these horses that were racing have all sort of gone to the paddock and having a bit of a holiday. They'll probably have a month or 6 weeks off and spell through the early part of the spring and then sort of come back and race sort of at the end of the spring, early summer. But I think we've got 23 horses in the stables at the moment. I think we've only got about 5 or 6 of them actually racing. So a little bit of a quiet time for the next month. Got 5 trialling today up at Ballarat, so those 5 will probably go to the races in the next couple of weeks. Okay, now runners this week, we'll head up to Donald on Saturday, and a couple of horses. Honey Wine will go up there. I was really disappointed with how he performed up at Swan Hill. We thought he'd just sort of land midfield and be hitting the line hard, and he ended up straightening up sort of last with the jockey's feet on the dashboard trying to find a run, and then sort of worked home really nice. He straightened up probably 5 or 6 lengths off the winner and got beaten 3. So I think the horse went pretty good, but it's just the last thing I wanted to do was be straightening up in a bloody 64 graded race at Swan Hill. So he'll get ridden a bit more positive, and he only has to land sort of midfield and he'll be all over this race. He was a massive price up there at Donald, and so up at Swan Hill, so I imagine it'll be a pretty good price again at Donald, and he's better than that grade, this horse. He'll end up about a 78 graded race, this horse, so to go to a 64 at Donald on a Saturday, I reckon that's a pretty good race for him. Also got a horse called Scribble Dibbly having his first start for me. We got him, he's a second-hand horse, we got him off another trainer. We gave him a trial the other day, trialled up okay I thought, so we'll take him to the races and see how he goes, but he's above average sort of horse. He'll win a couple of races pretty easily. I just trialled him over 1,000 metres and they just walked in front, and then they sort of really sprinted up and he was okay, so I'll give him a start over 1,200 first up and see how we go there. Another horse called Panthera Near. Now he jumped out at Geelong last start and put his mouth wide open and just charged and over raced and was terrible, so I've done a fair bit of work with him and chopped and changed a bit of gear around with him, and we've put a crossover noseband on him, and that's made him really relax well. I trialled him the other day and he jumped out and he relaxed and put his head on his chest, so he'll also go up there. He should land running 3rd or 4th or something like that, and nice and relaxed, and certainly fitness is an option, so hopefully he can start to turn his form around. Then we head off to Ballarat Tuesday on the synthetic. Now, I've got Lorenzetti in there. He ran a really good race, only just got caught in the last stride down at Casterton the other day. He'll go back to same sort of distance, 58 grade. He should be all over this sort of race. He'll bounce and put himself right there. I think the synthetic, the way that synthetic track's racing should suit him too, just sort of to flow into the race nicely. So he certainly gets his chance there. I was going to run him in a good 3-year-old race, but he just didn't back up in time, so I just had to wait another week, and we'll go to the races with him this week. Mitasanek, I've given him his last 2 starts over a mile, and he sort of travelled into the race good, and they've sprinted up and he's got left a bit flat-footed, so I've actually got him in there in a staying race. I'll just do a bit of work with him Saturday and make the decision whether we jump him straight up to the 2,000 metre, I think it's 21 or 2,200 or something. Fitness isn't a query, it's just whether we can he's ready to run that trip, but on the way, I just watched his sectionals and that sort of stuff, and he's just looking for a trip, so on face value I was a bit disappointed with his run the other day. I thought he got ridden very well, but looking at his sectionals, he just didn't sprint up. He sort of just looking for a trip. It's probably as simple as that. Wednesday Sandown. Now, Aloof and Phil the Flute both go to the 1,000 metre 84 there. Hate racing horses against each other, but there's just nothing really there for sprinting races. And ironically, because there's nothing there, the races tend to be really, really strong. So I'll put both of those in there. I'll give them a gallop on Saturday morning, and I can't see any reason why either of them wouldn't go there. Phil the Flute needs to. I gave her a trial without blinkers the other day, and that didn't work at all. She actually trialled up pretty average without the blinkers on, so I'll throw the blinkers back on her. I'll give her a nice sort of quick sharp gallop on Saturday morning. I expect it to work well. She couldn't possibly be any healthier. Might put a senior rider on her and see how that goes. And Aloof, he's just ticking over beautifully. He's an absolute ball of health, that horse, so both those horses probably get their chance there. I've also got Microvia in. He got on a really heavy track the other day with a heap of weight and got a little bit bogged, and I was just going to try and keep him to the mile, but there's an 1,800 at Sandown I might nominate him for. I prefer to maybe keep him at a mile, but it'll probably mean that he'll have to go to a Saturday at Caulfield, and realistically he's probably going to run a really good race and run 4th or 5th in that sort of race, so I might even look at running him on Wednesday in an 1,800 metre race. Yeah, this week at Around the Stables, we'll just show you a few of our babies. We're very fortunate this year that we were able to go to the sales and buy some really high quality sort of fillies. And you know, we've got a Smart Missile filly, a Tornado filly, More Than Ready filly, a really nice So You Think filly, Passant Staloon filly, Dream Ahead filly. You know, they're all really nice high quality horses. You can see they're pretty friendly, aren't they? And they've all been broken in, or most have been broken in anyway, and they're probably just about ready now to go down to the pre-trainers and have their sort of first little prep. The normal process with these horses is we tend to they'll get broken in, they come home and have a spell, get over that, and then they'll spend probably a month down at Warrnambool where they'll learn to go in the pool, and they'll learn to go on the treadmill, go around the track down there at Warrnambool, get on and off the truck, go up the beach a couple of times, and a pretty intense sort of thing, and there's quite a lot of horses there. And then they come home here, they'll spend a month here and just learn our sort of system, have a little spell, and they come back in and they have their first real sort of preparation, and then they get to a jump out stage, and as you can see, they can find out who's boss, and but all really, you know, it's pretty wintry and they're all pretty woolly, but you can see they're all in fantastic condition. Thank God we got a bit of rain, the grass has started to come through, but very, very lucky this year, and we've got some really high quality horses. These are our fillies. We might show you the colts next week, but hopefully we can find a good one amongst them. That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we've been absolutely flooded here and freezing cold this week. Probably a bit of credit to the track we've put in. We've spent a little bit of money on our track last year, and we've sort of kept it right up there. And we haven't missed a single day's work, and it's been absolutely underwater. I was talking to a couple of the Geelong trainers the other day, and they couldn't even get the tractors on the track in there. That was that wet, and so they were slopping around on heavy sand tracks where we haven't had a single day here where we haven't been able to gallop our horses. So just wrapped with the way the track's held up. It's been good. What have we got travelling this week? Donald, yeah, I think Honey Wine should go pretty good. He a bit disappointing the other day, got a long way back at Swan Hill, but I think he'll go good. Interesting to see how Scribble Dibbly goes. Panthera Near needs to turn his form around, but hopefully with a bit of change of gear he goes well. Yeah, maybe a chance or two there, hope so. Until next week, see you later. Yeah, hi everyone, welcome. Oh, jeez. Maybe I should practice before I talk.